Hey guys, James here. This is my 2024 Duramax 3500 Silverado. I have just recently upgraded my tailgate. Here's my old tailgate back here. This was a non-multi-gate or Multiflex. Ended up getting a small dent in that. So I wanted to upgrade this truck to the Multiflex or Multipro. Small background story about me. I had a 2020 that had the Multiflex tailgate, a Multipro. I sold that truck to a good friend of mine, and since I do have a topper on here, I've always kind of regretted or missed having the multi-gate. It just makes it easy to get in and back of the truck. Also, when we can lower the inner tailgate, it's easier to reach things in and out of the back of the truck. So I watched a few YouTube videos, a lot of good information out there. There's a guy named Dave that really kind of turned me on to the idea of relays to get the tailgate to open, inner to open. One problem I did have right from the get-go, and I kind of knew this was going to be a problem. Most everybody knows that the BMS body control modules, BCM, needs to be programmed to the tailgate, or if you don't have the right tailgate, it won't necessarily open up all of the functions. So I did install this. This is a brand new tailgate. It came the same color. It's a 2025. I did install it, and I took it straight to the Chevy dealer, and they thought they could reprogram the BMS. They couldn't. They only charged me 1 hour of labor, but that was still $150, $170, I think, and that really went nowhere. So I started doing a little more research, and my original tailgate on this truck was a power open and close. I thought when I instantly plugged in this new tailgate with the new harness. I do have two different harnesses. There is two harnesses for 2025, 2024 models. The only difference in the harnesses for the multi-gate is for the camera. One of the cameras does not work. I think that is the standard camera. And I have the camera with the 360 display. But anyways, I did have the right harness for my cameras to work. Plugged it in, plug and play. I had nothing. I had no power coming out of the harness going to either the inner gate or the outer gate. So I knew I needed to do some rewiring. Like I said, I looked at a lot of the videos online, and I came up with the idea that basically I just needed to power the tailgate and have that be its own independent unit. So the easiest way that I came up with it, and again, I looked at some videos, and there's a lot of good information out there. Some of the videos are quick, some of the videos are confusing, but I just kind of took my time. One thing I wanted to do or not do was send any power back through the harness into the tailgate, because I do have the harness from the tailgate. I'm sorry, I didn't want to send any power from the tailgate through the harness back into the truck. I didn't want to blow any fuses. So basically the only thing that is connected to the truck at this point from the tailgate is the camera. And so what I had to do is I had to figure out, how am I going to have power, where am I going to get power to control, that was my first thing, where am I going to get power to control the motors, actuators for the tailgate. Pretty simple. What I did is I just tied into the RV plug that's inside the truck. I've already tapped into that in the past for the power for my topper. So you can see my red wire. We ran that, zip tied it along the tailgate harness, and then when it comes into the truck, I wired that off. And I have two solenoids here. And these solenoids are pretty easy to find. They're on Amazon. I think it was a pack of 5 or 4 for, I don't know, under $50 anyways, I believe. So the way we wired these up, first of all, I had to figure out what my trigger switches were. And looking into the back of the touchpad, it was pretty simple to see that what our trigger wires were, not necessarily at the buttons, but on the wires going to the buttons. So I knew that this black and gray was the control for the main gate, which is the bottom plug, and then the other one here you can see was our yellow wires. So each one of these has a black wire on them. That's our ground. I knew we needed to ground that. I'll get to that in a minute. But in the other videos I watched, it was pretty simple. They also kind of guided you on how and which wires were going to be triggered. So for my main gate, again, we have this solenoid is powered up, yellow and red's together. This is a hot constant power. The downfall of running hot constant power is we'll be able to open that gate at all times, and not such a big deal for me, but for some people it might be, and there might be a different alternative to have that keyed power or some sort of situation. But so full power going to our solenoids, and then for our main gate, make sure I'm looking at this properly. For our main gate, we used the green wire and the gray wire. The gray wire runs to the trigger switch in the main gate, and then your green wire ends up being the triggered wire that turns power on and off. So that was the wires that we used. And what people did not say in the past videos is this green wire, you can see it's running to both sides. So we don't have to tap into all of the green wires because this is actually butted together somewhere in this harness that controls, feeds power, I should say, to this outside actuator on the passenger side. And then it's also green over on the driver's side. So I got that powered in, hit the button. We had power coming out of the blue, and solenoid was working, but still my gate was not dropping. The major problem that I found, and basically just by looking at these actuators, is I was not grounded. So we had a main ground coming out of the harness, and what I did is I tapped into that main ground, did a splice, shrink tubing splice, and then I wired off to this yellow with the black stripe. Now, what I found out was that yellow with the black stripe grounds all 4 actuators. So our inner tailgate, outer inner tailgate, and our main gate. With adding this ground, it then allowed me to have power to my actuators, both actuators, inner gate, and this is for my outer gate. And then from that point, all of my switches worked. I might have had that reversed, but this is my main gate, green and gray, and for my inner gate is the purple and yellow wires. So I hope that makes sense to everyone. If anybody has a better option for having power, let me back up. I guess I should also say with this method, we are powering the tailgate alone. It is its own standout unit. My key fob no longer works for opening my tailgate, and also my internal dash switch does not work for opening the tailgate. I might do a little more digging into trying to get and figure out maybe from my original harness, splicing in, or even maybe putting that original harness back in to see if I have any sort of control coming through my buttons. That might be a way that I could then splice into my main gate. But I believe in all of the vehicles there is no control for the inner gate on your key fob or in the dash. I know that there's a alert on your screen that tells you that your inner dash or your inner tailgate is open. But anyways, for now I'm happy. I'm okay with this. I like the way that everything came together. I have it. I do have it fused. I did a 20 amp fuse, and so here's my upper gate. And then the main gate. So I'm pleased with that. Again, if anybody has any suggestions of, you know, how we can get the key fob to be actuated power or supplied power in some way for the key fob or the dash, that would be greatly appreciated. If anybody notices I did something wrong, or if you just simply like what we did, I appreciate your comments. Again, look at all the videos out there. There's 3 or 4 that I noticed that guys were able to get these functioning. Some people, it's a plug and play for their main gate to power open. I think, like I said, the reason mine doesn't power open with the plug and play is my original tailgate for the truck had power open and close. With that being said, a lot of people might not realize this, but you do also have to change your hinges. My power open and close tailgate had a different hinge on the passenger side. Driver's side was the same. There is also behind there a spring actuator or spring helper for opening and closing. But again, let me know if you like the video. Hopefully it's helpful for somebody. And if there's any questions I can answer, I definitely will. But please check out all the videos that are out there. And thanks again. Thumbs up. All right, here's a end result of the multi-gate conversion. I'm not sure if I'm going to rebadge it or not. Kind of like it without the badges, kind of don't. This was originally a GMC tailgate off a 3500. I was able to buy that brand new. Like I said, well, the guy, he was upgrading and putting a utility box on his truck. So the nice thing about that was I was able to also get the grab bar and all the proper hinges. I got this tailgate out of steel. I actually only paid $900 for everything. A couple $100 in the GMC or Chevy dealer failed diagnostics, but overall I'm glad with the turnout and with all the help from the YouTubers. I'm happy. So everything functions properly. Like I said, the well, I shouldn't say everything functions properly. The key fob doesn't work for the main gate to drop, nor does the dash. You know, if that's going to bother you, maybe this isn't the right setup for you. But like I said, with the topper, I get in and out of this a lot. I work out of this truck pretty heavily. The multi-gate step and the grab bar, very beneficial for me. Safety and just convenience of it. So one other thing I didn't say in the other video, when I did install this tailgate very first time with everything wired in as I thought it would be a plug and play, I did have one update alert which came up on the screen my camera screens, and it was an hourglass. I did a little Google research on what the hourglass was, and it was just a update for the system. The dealer did remove that or update the system. I don't know. I do think it had something to do with the tailgate, but there was some recalls on this truck beforehand, so maybe that covered it. Who knows if it was just a camera update. Like I said, this does have the newer camera. Actually, you can see that I've got my interior light on at the moment. So yeah, let me know if there's anything I can answer for you. Hopefully you like the video. Hopefully it's helpful for you. One other thing I did say in the last video is that I was not using any of the wires coming out of the connection on the bed to the tailgate harness. That's not true. I am still utilizing the camera wire, and I'm utilizing the large black ground, and you saw me in the last video splice that in to a couple of the other wires. I did fuse the power with a 20 amp fuse just for safety, but I guess if anything was to go haywire on it, it would just blow the fuse for the trailering constant power. All right, well, that's it. Hope you guys enjoy. Hope it worked out for you. You know, make your videos, help people out. We've done a lot of stuff over the years with the help of YouTube, and I know you guys have too. Have a great day.